House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
All right, everybody, we continue to present the information to you as Liz and Gina are experiencing what it's like to fill out a building permit for the very first time. That's still amazing to me. And Gina,
Yeah.
you are being our very brave guinea pig by undertaking this project by yourself. And when last week, you said you actually filled out the paperwork, submitted everything, as Liz showed us in part 1, but now it's sitting with EPA, as I understand it.
Yeah, well, I started my process, I believe, in October. And at this point, I'm with EPA. It took me a long time to clear Parks and Rec, and that's because of where my particular property is located. There are a lot of issues in that area, so Parks and Rec took a lot of time with that. And maybe in another segment, I'd like to share my experience with that, because that is a whole story in itself.
Sounds juicy. Oh man. Okay, we'll save that.
It's an expensive story.
Maybe we can even do like a bonus episode, or we'll do something on digital for that. But yeah. So as far as the
now
paperwork
I'm
sitting
at
with
EPA.
EPA, yeah.
Okay, so you know,
Have they given you a timetable?
You know, I'm hoping to clear it in 30 days, but I think that too will depend. I think that too will depend on the issues in my area. And I have to tell you, you know, so I turned it in almost 2 weeks ago, and I think forgive me because our days are like, we don't know what day of the week it is, okay? But I believe on Tuesday they called and said, we're going to do the site inspection. And you know, it's EPA. I basically asked, what are you guys going there to look for? But, you know, I didn't realize how much EPA really checks and regulates. So I met with the inspectors, by the way, fantastic people. You know, you always show up wanting to be angry. Why are we doing this? Well, at least I did. I was like, why are you doing this? Everything's in my plans.
Hell hath no fury like a female realtor scorned. I believe I read that somewhere before.
Trying to get a building permit.
Exactly.
So you know, my first attitude is, I swear everything's in my plan, because the people who designed the plan asked me for everything that they were mentioning on the phone. But I showed up, and these inspectors are great people. So it's hard to be upset when you're meeting with such nice individuals, okay? So, that just took my anger away. But then they explained to me, you know, there's been some issues, and I know Liz can attest to this. You know, they've come across plans where what's on the plan and the physical that they go and see don't match up, right, Liz?
Yeah.
So, so they explained to me, you know, Gina, we've come across issues, and this is not every plan, and I don't know how many of them they've come across. And they said, we're doing this to protect the customer, because if these plans aren't accurate to what's on the site, you, the consumer, in the long run, you're the one who's going to suffer for it if we don't catch it early enough. And I agree with them. But basically, they check for air pollution. For instance, if my property, if I'm building on a cliff, or if I have to shave down part of a hill, when I'm doing that, it's going to affect the neighbors.
That's right.
They check for water, you know, what about the septic tank, and am I building over the waterlands? But so
that's always a big one.
Yeah, and so it is complicated.
Do they also check like soil quality and like stuff, like making sure that, you know, like there's no leachate or anything? I mean, that's always a story we do every few years.
They want to look to make sure that when I clear the property, if the topography of the property is such that when I clear it, you're going to start seeing soil erosion. That is something that they're looking at. If you clear this lot to build and then it rains really heavy, are you going to affect the road or your neighbors? So yeah, they
also check if there's, let's say there's a river or a stream by it. There are regulations that govern it. So for example, if it's not shown on the plan and they submit it, it goes through the approval process. Normally, if there's a river or a stream by, there's a guideline that says you have to build away from it, like 500 feet. And then depending on what village the property sits on, the other factors would be, is it above the waterlands? So all these come into play. So EPA has to ensure that they are protecting our water, they're protecting certain standards for the island. So it is critical, as she says, that they do go out and inspect to meet. And remember, EPA has different divisions within the agency. So each division has their duty to protect the quality of our
now,
life.
Gina, is this a process in which you can be an active participant? Meaning, like, you know, like it's a dialogue, it's a Q&A thing.
Yes.
They say, okay,
Yes.
what are your plans for this? What do you know about this? Or do they basically come out and they just like do a bunch of checkbox things?
No, I encourage everybody, if you're processing and seeing this is one of the challenges they're facing. I encourage people, if you are processing, be active, be in there. So every time they call, when can you go? I can go now, or I could drop everything and make it happen. And I am calling to follow up because there are about 8 areas that you have to clear. And if I'm going in there every day and saying, hey, where's my plan now? Is it on so-and-so's desk today? And she's not. I can imagine that my plan will get to the next person a little bit faster than her because I'm in there every day.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully in that 30-day window is going to be a little bit accelerated. So teasing part 4, which is coming up next week, what's the next step?
Well, I have to clear through EPA. I am still waiting. I cannot move to the next division unless I clear with them. The fire department, for me now, I'm at the tail end. For me, I'm going to have to clear through the fire department. And you know, I'm scratching my head now, why do I need to clear through fire? So that's the next thing that I have to find out. Why am I clearing through the fire department?
So that's another series.
I love a good cliffhanger. All right, so thank you for keeping us on our edge about this, and we wish you the very best of luck, and hopefully EPA has a swift inspection process. And make sure to check out our playlist on YouTube to see where Gina and Liz go next with this inspection. We will see you guys next time.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. Explore your world.